It is now 1800 hours. It's 6 o'clock. I'm calling this regular council meeting 2025-20 to order. The invocation will be provided by Pastor Paul Fournier of Life Point Church, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be given by Chandler Langevin, Councilman Chandler Langevin, I should say. Will you all rise for the invocation?
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we trust in you. That's what the country was based on, and God we trust. And we look to you tonight to lead this meeting, to lead us.
Thank you.
I pray that you lead this council in righteousness and justice. God, I pray that answers will be met when questions are brought forward. God, we want to see your will done in this city and in this country. So God, I pray that you bless this meeting, all the councilmen, the mayor, and everyone else who's involved.
Thank you, Father.
Just bless this time in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Councilman Langevin?
Where's out there? Oh, I'll do it. Where is it? I'll do it. This way. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hoorah! Where'd he go? You were supposed to lead in the pledge. Thank you, Councilman Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Roll call, Ms. Leffler.
Mayor Medina.
Hey, this meeting's now in order. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is now in order.
Okay. Mayor Medina.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Jaffe.
Present.
Councilman Johnson.
Present.
Councilman Hammer.
Present.
Councilman Langevin.
Present.
Mr. Morton.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Present.
Agenda revisions. Mr. Morton?
I do not have any.
As you were. Deputy Mayor announcements.
There is one term expiring on the Melbourne-Tillman Water Control District. Anyone wishing to serve on these boards can apply online at palmbayflorida.gov or contact the city clerk's office at 952-3414.
Thank you. Madam Smith, any agenda revisions?
No, sir.
Council, any agenda revisions?
No, sir.
Okay, so we are now on proclamations. So I'm going to have Lisa Hinkman come on up from Space Coast Health Foundation. Come on up on the platform up here. Don't be shy. So it's National Suicide Prevention Month, the month of September. It is hereby proclaimed by the mayor of the city of Palm Bay, which I always say is the greatest city on the face of the earth, whereas September is designated as National Suicide Prevention Month, as recognized by the National Association of Mental Illness. And whereas many local, state, and national health officials and community leaders understand that mental illness is a significant issue of concern, particularly among our youth. Whereas we realize that more open and honest discussion about mental health is required to address mental health issues. And whereas one major hurdle to remove the stigma attached to mental health treatment and discussion, whereas individuals, businesses, organizations, public officials, and many others recognize the importance of emotional health. Now, therefore, I, Rob Medina, Mayor of the City of Palm Bay, by virtue of the authority of said office, do hereby proclaim September as National Suicide Prevention Month in the City of Palm Bay and encourage all a positive effort to inspire those with mental health issues to seek help. of a family member, seek help of a friend, a colleague, or a licensed mental health professional to assist them in their time of need. The City of Palm Bay supports the efforts of Space Coast to provide education and resources for mental health problems. In witness hereof, I set my hand and cause the seal of the city to be affixed this 4th day of September 2025. Congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do on our behalf.
Thank you, sir.
Here you go, ma'am. You have.
Sure, thank you. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. So mental health is not easy to discuss or talk about. Depression is not easy to talk about. Suicide, most definitely not easy to talk about. So Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, thank you for allowing me to be here to talk about the Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. I'm Lisa Hickman. I am the Executive Assistant to Janet Gindling, who is the President CEO of the Space Coast Health Foundation. And our mission is to enhance the health and wellness of individuals and communities in Brevard County. So that is one of the reasons why this is very near and dear our heart. We operate the Children's Advocacy Center of Brevard, so we take care of all the kiddos that have been victims of abuse. We also have Lifetime Counseling Center, licensed therapists, and then most probably familiar, we have the Center for Collaboration, which most people have been there for a meeting or a gathering of some sort. But the one thing that I would like to say is that 148 Brevardians committed suicide in 2023. In the last 10 years, 2023 was the highest year. So 148 a year, that's too many. I would like to thank you for your support for many years. I've been here for a couple of years, so I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to thank you for acknowledging September as being the Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month. And the more we talk about mental health and letting people know that it's okay to get help, we'll reduce that stigma. And hopefully we can get our Brevard County citizens, we can get that number down. Because that stigma is not okay. And Council, Mayor, we really appreciate you doing your part in bringing this forward. And the one last thing that I would really like to say is that, and I want to leave you with, is that it is okay to not be okay.
Okay, I'll get it from her. I'll get it from her.
We are now on public comments, and I just wanted to, pursuant to council's policies, the public comments portion of this meeting will not be broadcasted or streamed. Deputy Mayor, first. Gentlemen, anyone wish to pull an item from consent? If not, I need a motion.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman, or Deputy Mayor Jaffe,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Johnson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Ms. Smith.
Ordinance 2025-33, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the fiscal year 2025 budget by appropriating and allocating funds as identified in Exhibit A, consisting of 2 pages and incorporated in its entirety herein. recognizing that such appropriations must be made pursuant to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Palm Bay, Chapter 35, Finance, adopting, ratifying, confirming, and validating the allocations, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Hammer?
This is public hearing number 1, correct?
Well, I haven't called it yet.
No, they were reading the
were
ordinance out of
reading-
out of the consent agenda.
We're now on public hearing item number 1. Ms. Smith.
Ordinance 2025-29. An ordinance of the City of Palm Bay.
Ma'am, can I interrupt you for a second? Councilman Hammer?
Yeah, I was trying to say before we announced it, I was abstaining from number 1, so I would need to step up.
Yes.
Thank you.
And this is consistent
Carrie-
with what Councilman Hammer did at the first reading.
Say again? Yes, ma'am.
He abstained during the first
So-
reading. This is the second reading.
Carry on. We're now-
Ordinance-
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Ordinance 2025-29, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of the rear 20-foot public utility and drainage easement located within Lot 34, Block 171, Port Malabar Unit 7, according to the plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 14, page 128, of the Public Records of Brevard County, Florida, and legally described herein, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to open up the public hearing and defer to Mr. Morton.
This is the second reading, Mayor and Council, of the request to vacate the easement for the construction of a pool and deck. Again, this is the second reading, and staff has recommended approval of vacation of the easement.
Thank you. Any questions, council, any questions of staff? Seeing none? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, I'm calling the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Let the record reflect that Councilman Michael Hammer abstained. We're now on item number 2. Madam Smith.
Ordinance 2025-31, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 17, Land Development Code, Chapter 174, Standards for Accessory, Temporary, and Other Uses and Structures, Subchapter Part 1, Accessory Uses and Structures, by increasing the number of backyard chickens permitted on single-family lots within certain zoning districts, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to open up the public hearing, and Mr. Morton?
Thank you again, Honorable Mayor, City Council. This is the second read for this ordinance. It was a textual amendment requested to amend the Code of Ordinances, Title 17, Land Development Code, Chapter 174, in essence, to increase the number of allowable backyard chickens from 4 to 6. Staff has no recommendation.
Thank you. Councilman Langevin, any comments before I turn it to the public?
No, I'm good, Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item, please step forward, Master Chief. Yes, ma'am. Come sit close.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street, Southwest. In Chapter 174, is there any requirements for the chicken coops to be inspected? There's designated on what the size has to be and stuff like this, but is there any requirement or any requirement to have it inspected? That's what I request, just curious for that aspect. Me personally, I don't even mind the roosters. It sounds like being at home to me, so let's go ahead and keep them coming. Thank you.
Staff?
There is no inspection requirement. There are guidelines promulgated by the Florida Department of Agriculture for the amount of space ideal for chickens, and with the increase, they're recommending a chicken coop somewhere in the order of magnitude of 66 to 84 square feet of enclosed housing. That's their recommendation. But other than that, will be code compliance driven by complaint, We're not going
That
to.
complaint, we're not gonna police it.
I do not have chicken police. We don't have active chicken enforcement, yes.
Copy that, sir. I still believe in the sweet spot. Ma'am, you're next.
Good evening again. I just wanted to come up to clarify, because the question's come up a couple times in the past about how many eggs a chicken can lay. And I don't want to take too much time, but chickens do only lay 1 egg per day. It's very uncommon for them to lay 2 eggs per day. That would be a hormone imbalance. Sometimes they don't even lay any eggs that day, so that can be due to stress, weather, or deficiencies. But anyway, I digress. 6 is an improvement from the 4. I think it should be closer to 8, because raising chickens, you lose some in the flock here and there. But I'll take what we got. I'll take what we can get, so thank you.
My neighbor can argue that. I know her chickens lay more than just 1 egg a day. Who else is with, Mr. Stice? And are you speaking as well next? No?
Good evening. I just have a couple questions on that. As an HOA president, we don't go into people's backyards. I don't know if it's in our documents, but I personally refuse to do so. So you don't know what's going on besides the chickens doing that thing back there. But I grew up with ambulance and fire trucks going by, so the chickens would keep me up. But, when you have 6 and you have roosters there and they become noisy, and, everybody has a right to some peace and quiet. So how do you monitor a quality of life? I mean, got a bunch of chickens, I think, not only in our neighborhood, but right across Tillman Canal. How do you monitor respecting somebody's quality of life, too? I mean, is it right up there with a barking dog, that makes some people crazy or they get used to it? How do you be fair to the people next to, in the houses here? Not everybody's a farmer. How do you respect the quality of life? I haven't heard anything about that, just that, people from L3 Harris have chickens and they want to have them. All right, what about the people that it's a noise issue? It's also a health issue. You get people that have dogs, they shouldn't even have pets at all. They don't take care of them. So you're not inspecting them at all. How do you, otherwise you're going to get a slew of calls too for quality of life, and this place is a, no pun intended, but a pigsty. I mean, they don't clean up after them. So what about the people that enjoy or want to maintain their quality of life as well? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? Okay, seeing none, I need a motion. I'm closing the public hearing and asking for a motion.
All right, I'll make a motion to pass this on final reading.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Langevin, seconded by Councilman Hammer. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Nay. Passes 4-1. Item number 3. Ms. Smith.
Ordinance 2025-32, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 5, Legislative, Chapter 51, Public Hearings, by including additional provisions for time limits of public hearing items, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm opening up the public hearing, and Madam Leffler.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This ordinance was requested by Deputy Mayor Jaffe and is for final reading. It provides for speaker time limits on public hearing items that are not located within the Land Development Code. This will standardize the time allotted for all public hearing items, allowing 30 minutes for the applicant, 30 minutes for staff, and 3 minutes for public comments.
Yeah, and he removed the item, you don't have to,
Right,
you can
there's
just
no-
still
there's
raise
no
your
request,
hand.
right, no
right?
request for speaker
Yeah.
cards.
You can still raise your hand. Okay. Any additional comments?
No,
Deputy
Mayor.
Mayor? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item, please step forward, Master Chief.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. I'd just like to thank the council for removing the requirement that for public hearings, that you didn't have to fill an orange card in on every single one. I come 30 minutes early just because I have to submit so much paperwork now that would just be that much longer I'd have to come earlier for. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Councilman Johnson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. We are now on procurements, item number 1. Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. We have before you tonight the bill for the Claremont Force Main spill. I did ask Gabriel Bowden to come tonight to give a presentation. Essentially, we do have the final bill, 90 days, we have a requirement to pay. We're here tonight to get that payment in the amount of $1.124 million. There's an additional $14,533 coming for street repair. More importantly, the reason the staff report's so long is I wanted to go ahead and bring up the history and, more importantly, where we are in terms of next steps and future prevention, which is, to the best of our ability, outlined. Additionally, I think one of the last remaining steps that we've discussed that we will still conduct with HOAs and residents around Turkey Creek was we're still waiting to hear the final order of a fine from FDEP, somewhere in the magnitude, we believe, of between $15,000 and $40,000. We have asked that consent order be reissued and that we're able to use that money towards a local water quality improvement project guided by our residents there around the Turkey Creek. Again, we do have Gabriel here to give any further questions or discuss this at length. Again, my concern is to not lose the trust that we've had with the residents with all the communication. We did proactively reach out again this week, talk with HOAs, talk with other residents who are on our contact list as we continue to close this out and let them know we've not forgotten that we made commitments and we'll finish those out through the rest of the process.
Can we use some of the funding regarding the baffle boxes?
No.
Okay, as
No.
you were.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, it is helping Turkey Creek, so. Are you having Gabriel come up to do the presentation, sir?
I think we're good. I think if you wanted, or he'll just answer questions. I think the staff
Okay.
report was, pretty explanatory. I didn't know how deep you wanted us to dive into it tonight.
Councilman Hammer?
I don't have any questions at all. I don't have any questions. I just want to go on record. One of the things that I've always expressed is for us to show our approval of the vendors when they do good. I think we should have some kind of quality scale when people do overperform. I do want to say thank you to our utilities department, but I want to go on record on saying how extensive Cathcart performed. There was people that was there that I went by there at least 8 times, and some of those people were there every single time I was there. So I do want to go on record saying I'm the quality and the service we received from this company was beyond measure.
You know, Councilman Hammer, I wholeheartedly agree, and they were passionate. There were guys that was working in our own team. So Cathcart did come through for us, and to that argument, well, our city manager just stepped out, but I agree, they did perform outstandingly. And I think we should recognize that and make a note of that, Gabriel and staff, because these folks, they were invested in our community, but what hasn't been said was they were in the midst of another project within Florida, and they came directly to help us out on a moment's notice. So that they should be commended for that as well. So thank you.
Mayor, I'd just like to make a comment too. Just looking at the unit prices, they were extremely fair. They did not charge us emergency rates. The contractor usually get 3 things, good, fast, and cheap. You only get 2 of those. And they seem to deliver all 3. And I don't even see a charge for mobilization or maintenance of traffic in here, which is pretty cool. So, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. So, Mr. Morton, you were out, but council's raving about Cathcart and the superior service in our time of need, especially when on a moment's notice they came from a distant location and they invested in our community. So we were all quite
They put all
pleased.
of their work on hold to treat us as a priority, so I'm very appreciative. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So I need a motion.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Councilman Johnson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're now on new business number 1. So as most of you know, we are not streaming our public comment section. And I truly believe that there's a place, and I didn't agree with it then, and I agree that we should reinstate it today. We should never hinder the public from saying anything, and why not stream it so that the rest of the residents can literally see what their constituency, what their residents, what their neighbors are speaking about. So I'm glad that council decided to reconsider this policy. I'm really excited that for whatever reason, we're looking at it in a different view today, where we're being inclusive of the comments of every one of our residents. So with that, Deputy Mayor, are there speaker cards?
Yeah, Mayor, we got 2 cards on this topic. We have Lance Fisher, first speaker.
Lance Fisher, Palm Bay. First, Mayor, I just wanted to thank you for bringing the people's voices back to the dais, at least for a vote. Councilman Hammer, thank you for being the citizens' voice. And Councilman Johnson, thank you for listening to the citizens and seconding the motion to bring this back up. I appreciate it, gentlemen. Deputy Mayor Jaffe, I urge you, start listening to the citizens. They have spoken loudly over the past several months, and yet you've ignored them. If you fail to see the value in your citizens, I hope they speak even louder come election time. You continue to silence the citizens at every council meeting with new ordinances, but then seem amazed when citizens don't show up for workshops and meetings. Today, a yes vote will change that. You will show the citizens that you too are listening. Today, you can make a difference. Let's not forget that in January, citizens lost their right to speak against consent items and lost their secondary opportunity for public speaking. Time and time again, city staff is called to this podium to defend positions, often belittling or chastising citizens for their comments, yet the citizens don't get an opportunity to redress this council. I recommend a total reversal in silencing the citizens and give us a chance to speak on consent items and a chance to have a second public speaking opportunity and of course, live stream the public comments. I actually agree that providing staff 48 hours to review and prepare presentations is reasonable and should remain in effect. So once again, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilman Johnson, and thank you, Councilman Hammer.
Ken Delgado.
Ken Delgado, 154 Angelo Road, Southeast in Palm Bay, Florida, 32909. I'm also very thankful, first of all, for all that you all are doing, but also thankful that this is coming up again. I'd like to piggyback on what my wife said the last time we talked about it. She said, you know, it's like you all are the husband and the constituents are the wives. And I don't know about you, I have a wife, and if I don't communicate to my wife, I'm in deep trouble. And so communication is so important. We call it CPR. I know it's cardiopulmonary resuscitation. We call it communication promotes partnership, which enhances relationship. And the real issue here of freedom of speech, and it's just communicating to your, I'm going to call it the wife or wives. I'll do it. The analogy breaks down in that we don't believe in polygamy, and I'm not talking about 5 husbands and 140,000 wives, but the analogy is just this. Communication is so valuable. When you limit communication, it's like limiting the communication to your family. And when you limit the communication to your family, it creates problems and it hinders relationship. So I really believe that today, as it was just said, we have an opportunity to really go, okay, you know, maybe there was a good reason. I never found out what the reason was, but like driving, you make a wrong turn, the wife told you, go right, you went left, and then you found out your wife was right. And so what do? We just say, forgive me, honey, turn around, and we make corrections. And so as the leaders, or the husband, as the leaders, we do trust you, but as the wives, so to speak, we also believe that we should have a voice, and that voice should not be limited. And so we're just asking you to just reconsider that point and listen to the wife section of this relationship, this partnership that we have, and just institute that freedom of speech opportunity so that the rest of the people of our community can actually hear what we're saying. And I think that's just proper, right, and what a wonderful opportunity to just made a wrong turn. Okay, we just turn back and just move forward. Thank you all for all you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Next speaker?
Kristen Lanzana.
Hello again. I will keep this short and sweet. Originally, whenever this was taken off of the broadcasting, it was under a red herring argument because the FCC doesn't regulate the broadcasting of public comments on government channels. So I just wanted to bring that up. The public has the right to view local politics from home. I wouldn't have to drag my kids here every time if we could watch them from home. So I just wanted to include that, including the public comments. It's very important. Bring back the broadcast. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker?
That concludes the cards, Mayor.
Okay, so at this time, I would need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second. So I got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Mayor Medina. Any further discussion, Councilman Johnson? Councilman Hammer?
Yeah. Unfortunately, last week, I had to do what the public had to do. I had to watch public comments from my house because I was sick. Well, guess what? I didn't get to. I didn't get to see the looks in people's faces when they came up here to talk to our council. I didn't get to hear them other than over the phone. It wasn't something that I want to do once my time is done here. Also, another thing I want to say is a lot of discussions were had tonight with Republic. Republic came in and said we did something and we apologize. Only 50 people heard it. That's something that I think should have been broadcasted, and I think a lot of people could have heard that and stopped posting about it, understood what's going on, and we could have moved on without probably the 70 to 100 calls we're going to get for the next week. We discussed the Evans Center. Everybody came up here and spilled their heart about the Evans Center, about its place in the community. Mr. Evans, what he provided for our community. I mean, even me growing up, it's a huge part of the community, and the public didn't see it. And if I was still sick, guess what? I wouldn't have been able to see that. And lastly, being a videographer, I'm not saying anybody has or anybody will. I want you guys to understand how easy it would be to make it look like we did something or said something. If it was recorded, and guess what? They skip around and find something from 2 weeks ago, and they put it in there. Guess what? We have no way to prove that we didn't say that. There's no way to go back and see what was actually said. So I'm going to be in favor of bringing back public comment being televised, and I think it's something that we should all gather around. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor? Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Hammer, you touched a chord with me tonight that made a whole bunch of sense, that opened up a different perspective to me. And I know we have a responsibility as a council. And, I also feel the residents also have a responsibility to speak truth when they come up at public comments and not speak on misinformation. And I've noticed that a lot since I've been on council, that there is a lot of misinformation that's being shared during public comments. And there's also times when really good information comes out. And I just urge, the residents also have a responsibility to treat this place with respect and with decorum, proper language, and also just speak truth and ask questions and not spread misinformation when you come up and speak. So with all that being said, Councilman Hammer, you changed my mind tonight. Thank you.
Outstanding. Well, I'm grateful that Councilman, or I'll put it this way. I'm truly grateful that God used Councilman Hammer to change your mind today. Glory to God. Without further ado, I'm calling the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. We're now, ladies, order. We're now on item number 2, new business. Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. We brought back tonight from what staff heard from you all and from our legislative representatives, we brought back 6 consolidated staff, council priorities, for the legislative directives this year. They're summarized in this memorandum. On top of that, we've been working closely with our consultant at Sunrise, Andrew Colell. You should have got an email today. I'll just put this out there now so you have an awareness. He's suggesting 4 visits to Tallahassee this year. These are 6 proposed tentative weeks. I'm just going to throw those out. You have them in an email, but the week of 10/6, the week of 10/13, the week of 11/3, the week of 11/17, the week of 12/1, and the week of 12/8. Nothing's been finalized, just a general awareness. And again, I sent those to you in an email. But the point of tonight is to get acknowledgement and/or correction or further direction on the submitted 6 legislative priorities that the staff has brought back.
Thank you. I'll start off with Councilman Langevin.
Yeah, I support him 100%. It's exactly what I was looking for, so I'm going to be behind him.
Thank you. Councilman Hammer?
I love everything, and I want to thank staff for doing how much that they did in a week. There's a lot of info in here, and I had a lot of questions when I had my briefing, and our staff had everything down to a T. I would say before I was even elected, I had a discussion with our police chief about the training building being named after Sergeant Tobar. Being a fleet services tech, I dealt with Mr. Tobar on a daily basis because everything range came into fleet. We were doing a lot with him. The range was his baby as well as someone else's, but to see the training building being named for him, it really hits home for me. And if we do go to present that, I would love to be there to see it presented, if that's okay with everybody.
Yes, sir. I'm good. Okay. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, just to the point, I think staff did a great job listening to us at the council meeting when this was discussed, when the consultant was here, and excited about what these opportunities look like, and I hope we have a successful legislative session in Tallahassee.
Yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to add, staff did an excellent job of deciphering that, but Mr. Morton, just wanted to give a shout out to Juliet Mosconi, who navigated us through that process. So thank you, ma'am, for taking dubious notes and helping us along the way, right? Part of the discussion, gentlemen, this list is, I know that I'll be bringing this before the delegation here pretty soon. But what's important is we all pick up the phone and speak to each and every delegate and continue that dialogue. I think it's going to be critical because we do have a champion in Monique Miller as well. We have Senator Debbie Mayfield, who's done an outstanding job, but we have senior leadership in Tyler Soroy. And so we need to collectively do the best we can to lobby for these projects, and I think we will be successful, Deputy Mayor, to your point. With that being said, do we have any speaker cards, Deputy Mayor?
Lance Fisher.
Thank you, Fives, for the last vote. I changed my speech to help out. Lance Fisher, Palm Bay. Just to be clear, I'm not speaking for the family of Frank Tobar. This is my opinion based on my personal knowledge of the previous project as the former deputy chief. I do have a few questions regarding the Sergeant Frank Tobar Tactical Training Facility. First, I sat in meetings in 2023 regarding legislative priorities at that time. The PD presented and was awarded state funding for the range improvements. I don't recall the amount that was awarded or that was set aside, but I do know that we were on the verge of building a training facility that would encompass the defensive tactic room and the room for Milo. We also discussed offices to potentially house training unit to free up some space over at the PD. The question is this a second request for an additional building, or 2 years later, we're again asking for the same money for the previous building? I'm confused as why this building wasn't built and if we were previously awarded money. Lastly, please consider tabling the name of the project. As of Tuesday, Frank Tobar's family was not even aware that there was a push to use his name to get funding for the city. Remember, it took the city 4 years to honor Frank Tobar on the wall of Sacrifice Park. The city still has not officially recognized his death as in the line of duty. On behalf of the city, Patricia Smith fought Tobar's family, and to this day has denied him any city benefits resulting from his death. It is sickening to think that the city will again use Frank's sacrifice to benefit their needs, while failing the needs of his family. Those benefits would have been minimal. My understanding is $130,000 compared to the $1.5 million the city is hoping to gain by using his name. City Council, I urge each of you to personally reach out to Frank's family and sit down with them. Have a discussion about the disrespect they received from your city attorney's office. Have discussion and conversation of what they endured from the PD staff or the lack of them. Listen to what they've endured having to fight for the rights of Frank Tobar. Listen to their disappointment that it took 4 years to rightfully get him honored on Sacrifice Park. Lastly, discuss how can this city rectify the wrongs that were done, and how can they finally honor Frank's sacrifice by awarding those benefits to his family. If you truly want to honor Sergeant Frank Tobar, move Chief Agello and Chief Spears to bring back the Explorers program that Frank Tobar ultimately gave his life for. Bring back POW. Start a Citizens Police Academy. Start a Citizens Review Board for the use of force and the complaints that this city continues to get. Again, I just urge you, please sit down with the family. They're not even aware that this is happening today. They're not even aware of it. I spoke with her today at 2 o'clock. She wasn't even aware of this. Show Frank Tobar's family the respect they deserve. Reach out to them. Please, please, gentlemen, sit down with her. Listen to her story about what she endured 4 years ago from your city attorney's office. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? I guess the very first thing, we didn't reach out to Patricia Tobar regarding?
I have to ask the deputy chief on that. I did not.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The answer is no, we did not reach out to her. And the first reason was because we didn't expect this to be public, and this was going to be something that was in the works behind the scenes, and be something that, once solidified, we would know that this was in fact happening. So
in other
because
words-
of the uncertainty, I'm sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. So
Because of the uncertainty of the project and it being completed and given the award, we did not make notifications.
I see. So you were going on the premise of, since this is just so preliminary,
That's correct.
you didn't want to set up any false hope.
Correct.
Is that what I'm hearing?
That's correct.
Understood. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Any other questions?
If it's such a problem naming this building, if there's heartburn about it, what about the Grogan and Johnson Tactical Training Building? I mean, SWAT was formed after that event.
Yes.
And those officers were killed by gunfire in line of duty, and it is a shooting range. So it just, I would think it would be a good suggestion for someone on staff to reach out to the Tobar family, and if it's not something that they're willing to be honored with, then we could look at calling it the Grogan and Johnson Tactical Training Building.
I would be fine with that. I think that's a good, at least allow Mrs. Tobar, Patricia Tobar, the opportunity to accept or not. Okay? Is that good? Gentlemen, I'm looking for consensus here. All right. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe. It was who?
Accident.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're on item number 3. Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. This is consideration of a partial reimbursement of the Bayfront Community Redevelopment Agency's unexpended funds. It's just a partial expenditure, or reimbursement, excuse me. It's for fiscal year '24. We would return $1.329 million to the road maintenance fund as proposed, returning $569,000 roughly to Brevard County. We are withholding an amount of $1.136 million for potential litigation. If that is settled, without that money being paid out, we would bring back another consideration to split those funds and return those again respectively to the city and to the county. If we have other questions in respects to the CRA or the Bayfront area, I know we do have Larry here tonight that can help answer those for us. Did he leave on me?
Any questions, gentlemen? Councilman Hammer?
Yeah, I have a question. Do these funds need to go to the road maintenance fund, or can they go towards other things?
My understanding is this is just historically how the city has reimbursed those funds. I do not believe there's an outright requirement to return those to the road maintenance fund.
Okay, well, I would have to say originally, the BCRA was made to bring Palm Bay together into the Bayfront. Over the weekend, I got the pleasure of going to Kissimmee Lakefront Park, which is basically just a park that they allow food trucks, they allow vendors. It was absolutely amazing. They made a tower that the kids at the schools made. Each school got to put something up there. It is a place for Palm Bay to come together
It's
for
like
positivity.
a plaza in Kissimmee, right?
So my idea is to bring this money that the community brought together for something within our community and build a Bayfront Park. I mean, I know we have castaways there, but I don't see the 1.3 having an ROI, and I see a park with food trucks, events, things.
Where would you put it?
Somewhere down in Bayfront. That's my best idea. I mean, obviously, staff can give us some ideas. I do remember, even as a kid, fishing down there. My parents had a bar right on the corner there, and I would walk over there and fish, and now it's just pepper trees. I mean, even if part of it can be take those pepper trees out and give us our view back. I really think this stuff needs to be spent in the Bayfront. And I think we can come up with some ideas. And even if we're, using some of it for road maintenance and some to beautify Bayfront, I think we need to get our view back. I think we need to make our Bayfront what BCRA was designed for. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilman, or Deputy Mayor Jaffe?
Historically, right, it goes to the road fund. I think there's just a lot of uncertainty right now in what just our road funding program looks like in our application, our process, where money should be spent. To Councilman Hammer's point of, using the money somewhere else, we're in the budget season right now. We're going to be voting on millage next week. What if this money's just allocated towards the fire trucks and give us a chance to have a discussion Monday about potentially just rolling back that millage rate a little bit? Not, because I'm not even sure we have the votes there to get there, so.
Okay, so, yes, Councilman Johnson.
Before we continue more discussion, do we have any public comment cards or?
Bill Benton.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street, Southwest. I have a couple of comments and a couple of statements and questions. First one, what is the gist of the lawsuit? What would this project in the Bayfront, what was it going to be that now is not there? That's the first question, right? The second question is, Why is there a cost from this lawsuit, potential lawsuit, where they gave $500,000, but they're anticipating a $1.2 million back to the Bayfront Community Development? Right? The next question is, what is the income, because we've been saying that the refund from the Bayfront Community Redevelopment Agency coming back in went to pay for road maintenance because the city failed to maintain its roads. No road maintenance. They failed. They deteriorated down from a paved road when I moved here to a dirt road until we got the set residents to bond back $150 million. Now, believe it or not, I went from a paved road to a dirt road. I now have a paved road again. I'm appreciative. But with that, we said, what is going to be our mechanism to maintain our roads after we pay to pave them? And that was, well, what do we have to fund for a mechanism? And we then, at that, decided, let's the council say, well, we can take the Bayfront redevelopment funds and we can put that towards road maintenance so we don't end up in the same back position we were before with failed roads within the city of Palm Bay. I promise you, if you can't drive to the Bayfront, you're not going to appreciate the Bayfront. If you have to drive through potholes to get to the Bayfront, it's not going to be a very memorable statement, right? Okay. That being said, don't mess with the roads. You already said you had to stop what we were doing at the last council meeting. You had a bid out. That's going to cost us probably more than what we're going to bring in from the Bayfront. It's going to cost us more to rebid that. Come on, folks. The roads have failed the city and made us look bad. Let's don't go down the same road again. Thank you very much.
I see what he did.
Any other speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
All right. You know, and you know this. There was no road maintenance fund.
Yep.
And the mechanism to put that in was to have a plan and have a funding mechanism, as Master Chief said. So I would, and now we want to flip this. Perhaps what we could do is consider it in the future, but I believe that we should stick to the plan. If you want this to come back, Councilman Hammer, if they're the votes that want to bring this back, and you want to set aside some of that fund, that might work. But right now, the plan is, and it has been, to get this was our mechanism to fund our road maintenance. And right now, you can't, Mr. Morton, how much money do we have in our road maintenance fund that we've set aside?
Yeah, I think the big.
About 4 million?
It's about 4 million, and the statistic today, when I was doing some transportation research, is it's countywide statistic, but 84% of the road transportation projects countywide remain unfunded. So it's a significant, not just a Palm Bay problem, it's a significant countywide problem, just for some context.
And so, and with $4 million that we've been working on this for a little bit now, right?
Yes, sir.
How much road can we repave?
Like 1 mile.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so part of that is a great question. It's difficult to know. Depends on a lot of factors, whether it's FDR, redesigns, culverts are involved, transportate bridges can raise the price. By council's direction, we're reevaluating not just road bids and costs and getting regional data, but also a new perspective for whatever ways we can incentivize cost reductions and encourage additional bidding, the bidding climate. Can we incentivize road paving companies to come? We're doing that through several mechanisms. So it's bid for bid, but it could do as little as a mile or as much as 4 miles, depends on the project.
And so we've been at this, my point is, we've been at this for a substantial amount of years. And for us to just say, let's not do this, I don't think that's the right way to go. That's just me, right? I kind of like the fact that we were building on something and building on our future road maintenance. If I throw that away, then that means I didn't believe in it before, and I believed in it before. So I'm not gonna support flipping the switch on this. To the contrary, I think we need to continue to think of ways to increase that road maintenance fund in the future. So that should be on the agenda. But as for me, right now, I am for these funds to go to road maintenance, and that's where I would stand.
Well, we need a motion.
Well,
Okay. So moved.
got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Mayor Medina.
I'll second it.
You want to third it?
Oh, did someone second it? Sorry. I'll third it. Yeah.
Any other discussion?
No, nothing else to add. Mr. Batten hit it right on the head because this came in about 2020, right around when you came in, Mayor.
right.
Actually, it was.
Yes,
It
sir.
was, yeah, because we
Right
had
when that
nothing,
came on.
yeah, we had nothing in place. And that's what got the roads to the place that they're in now, well, we're getting out of now. So I appreciate your words, sir, and let's look at innovative ways. We have Mr. Morton, he's got a vision and he's got a plan, so we'll figure it out together.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. We're now on council reports. Councilman Langevin.
Thank you, Mayor. So a few meetings ago, we discussed, and you guys gave me guidance. I kind of proposed something, and you guys gave me guidance in regards to the Go Roads funding that we still have left. And so I've been discussing things with staff, and we kind of have a concept of a plan that we think would be a good plan. But before we go into details and bring something back for a vote, they just asked me to get a little bit more guidance from council. So I'm going to kind of present the kind of 10,000 yard picture of the proposal for guidance to see if that's something you guys would be interested in bringing a more detailed plan forward on for a vote. So this is not approving, the plan. This is just saying it's enough of a good plan for you guys to see a more detailed plan in the future. So what we discussed is essentially using the Go Roads Fund, reallocating them particularly to Malabar. And the reason being, I think we know there's parts of Malabar that need to be fixed. And if you go down Malabar and you see the patches and everything else, and we saw some photos that were released to the public this week where one of our police officers has a 4-foot lath in a hole in Malabar. We're talking about serious issues with critical infrastructure. And all the other arteries that we have in the city are dependent on the critical infrastructure. So that needs to be a major priority. And unfortunately, critical infrastructure is also incredibly expensive. So what the 10,000 yard plan would be is step one, fix what needs to be fixed. Step two, with remaining money, widen Malabar. And then step three would be for us to come up with a comprehensive plan of how we would like to conduct road maintenance as a city moving forward once the Go Road money is out. In other words, once we don't have Go Roads money anymore, well, there's still going to be roads that need to be repaved, neighborhood roads that need to be repaved in the future. So coming up with a comprehensive plan, whether it be to set some money aside or something every year that would then go into like repaving these little roads, how we're going to decide which one needs the most. So that's the 10,000 yard image, 10,000 mile image of the plan's concept. And so if you guys are okay with that and give me guidance on that, then we will move forward with coming up with a more detailed plan in that area.
You mentioned Malabar Road. Now, so just a little bit of history here. Malabar Road on the east side, we received from the county. I wasn't on council when that occurred, just for the record. I didn't think that was a good idea, but nonetheless, it's now city. Are you referring to that eastern part that I'm referring to where there may be a deep pocket of adjusting some of that? It could be a full reclamation type setup. Are you referring to that section of Malabar Road?
Yes, Mayor. And unfortunately, like you said, it wasn't our fault, but we've got some problems in that area that I think really need to be addressed. I think it's kind of our duty at this point.
Copy that. So I just wanted to get the geographical area and the depth of what you were referring to. Yeah, I think sooner or later, we're going to have to address that. On a real note, I thought that we should have kept those projects that we were going on because it's affecting some of the residents that have been waiting for that. But yes, I'm willing to hear what other alternatives staff can come up with for that. Councilman Hammer?
I am willing to hear what staff can come up with, but I'm going to be honest. Everybody that voted for Go Roads and everybody that needs a road, I think should have one. I do believe we have done a lot of roads that didn't need to be done. And I also want to say we haven't prioritized those roads in the way that I think we should have. So I am all for doing an assessment on the roads that need to be done thus far and finding the ones that don't need to be done if possible. Also, I would say we just approved 1.3 for road maintenance, and Malabar sounds like road maintenance. So I think we're, everybody on this dais knows we have an issue at Malabar and Emerson, and we just approved 1.3. So I would love to hear what staff can come up with and move forward on that. But I am being vocal. I think if somebody paid to have their roads done, it should be done. And but I think we have a lot of smart people here. We have an amazing city manager, and I think we can come up with a strategy here to make things happen. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement with everything you said there, because, and I mentioned it at the last meeting, folks voted for this. And in voting for this, they're expecting their roads to be paved. So that was a critical argument that you brought up. But I also wanted to shed light into the item that Councilman Langevin is talking about. 1.3 million is not even going to scratch the surface of the depth of that problem. If I'm understanding the issue correctly, we're talking about pipes underneath and the whole nine. So that's going to take a huge amount. And I don't even think the 9 million is going to be able to suffice that. So those are my thoughts. But yeah, I'm willing to listen. Councilman?
You said exactly what I was going to talk on, and that's why I'm looking at staff over here. It's not even a roads problem. If it's my recollection is correct from back in 2018 when I spoke with the then Public Works Director, it's a pipes problem. Like, on that strip. That's what's causing everything going topsy-turvy. It's a pipes problem. That's yeah, so it's much, to your point, it's going to be a big task to take on, but I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah.
I'm open to ideas, but that Malabar Road is going to be a big one.
Deputy Mayor,
Thank
your
you.
comments on?
Yeah, I love the creative thinking, right? I think that's what this job is going to require, is for us to get creative. We have some major challenges ahead of us. I think the spirit of the GO paving program was to repave all the residential streets throughout Palm Bay. Is there a loophole to use that money elsewhere? I think there is. I don't think the money could be used for pipes, though. I think it has to be used for actually paving projects. I know there was a lot of heartburn about the vote that took place at the last meeting. I have a lot of confidence in my ability as a contractor and my experience, and I think it's it's challenging sometimes for people to trust the process. But I do this for a living every single day, and I stretch dollars to get projects completed. And I think it's a good thing to challenge contractors to make them revisit bid opportunities. I think I'm pretty confident that we'll see that project come back at a reduced rate. I've also been working with staff, and staff's been doing a phenomenal job, exploring some of the ideas that I've had, exploring portable asphalt plants in Palm Bay, south part of the county. There's no asphalt plants down here, and we've been paving subdivisions, streets for God knows how long. And the closest plant right now is like North Brevard County, so that is a tremendous trucking cost that we're paying. Everybody's paying to get asphalt down in this area. Not to mention, Palm Bay's sitting on several 100,000 tons of milled asphalt that could be reused to recycle into new paving projects. So, Palm Bay owns land. We own land in the compound. There's potential opportunities for public-private partnerships, a P3 asphalt plant. The fact of the matter is the GO paving program's broken. The money is going to run out. People's roads aren't going to get paved. So stop the process now, regroup, stretch those dollars as far as we possibly can go, or let's just keep spending $4 million over budget on every project that comes in front of us. I don't like that idea. I like my idea better, and I'm glad council voted on it at the last meeting. And I think we have to trust the process. We have a great new public works director, phenomenal city manager, great staff that works in every single department. And I think we have to trust the process and let these people do their job. And let us come back and surprise the residents. You know, let us surprise you. I feel confident in that. So with that being said, I like the creativity from Councilman Langevin, but I'm going to have to be on the side of the money stays with the residential streets and not Malabar Road.
Thank you. Does that conclude your?
No, so I just want to clarify too that, like I said, I've already been in works with staff, so I crossed my T's and dotted my I's as far as the piping and stuff like that. We're not, I mean, we could ask again to verify, but I've asked Ms. Smith, and she said we're good on the legal side for that, but I don't want to put words in her mouth here, so she'd like to jump in on that. But, I obviously brought this after talking to the city manager, the city attorney, et cetera, et cetera. In reference to whether or not we should continue to pave every road, we don't have the money to do it. We're going to run out of money. Every other city is able to pave its own side roads, and they do it through a process where the city sets money aside from its general fund. The actual verbiage, regardless of what the residents may have intended, the actual verbiage does allow us to use the money on Malabar Road. The verbiage of the voted for referendum didn't specifically say we're going to pave only side roads. It was kind of vague and mentioned road maintenance. And later on, it was determined that they're going to pave every side road. But if you can't get your main arteries, if you can't get an ambulance down this, what does it matter if your side roads are paved? I mean, I understand we want, in a perfect world, this would be fixed and your side roads would be paved. That would be great. But as a council, we have to work with what we have, with the money that we have, and with the issues that are presented before us. And, sometimes we got to make a bad decision or a worse decision. And in my opinion, for the safety of the residents and for the overall general good of the city, this is far more important than a side road getting paved, quite frankly. So anyways, that concludes my comment. I think consensus, though, one way or the other.
Yeah, I think.
I'm open. I just know it's a tall task.
Everyone gave that ideology that we're willing to look at what comes before us, but we're not on board as of yet. But we're willing to look at. Even Deputy Mayor said he's encouraging your creativity, right? But we're just not all there yet until we see what's
okay.
in front of
So we
us.
got consensus to bring a plan back in the future. Okay. Thank you very much.
Does that conclude your reports, Councilman Hammer?
Everything that I need to talk about, I talked about already. Thank you.
Thank you,
everybody.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes, Mayor, I'll be brief, but I'll be intentional. 2 weeks ago, I told y'all about Being Health. We went there for a week retreat. Today, got the news that the tumor in my wife's left breast is gone. It's not there. I just had to share the news with everybody.
What's up, man?
Thank you, sir. So God is good. God is good. I'm on this platform. I'm going to shout his name. I'm going to let people know that Jesus Christ is Lord, and that he saved my wife. He saved our marriage. He saved our children. And I'm grateful. Man. So appreciate the prayer. Some of y'all knew what we were going through, and I appreciate everybody just, keeping us in your hearts and minds. And let's keep working. So thank y'all.
That's a great report, man. That's a great report. God bless you and your family, sir. Deputy Mayor.
No report, Mayor.
So, gentlemen, I do have one item I want us to consider. As most of you know, we have, as collectively as a city, as a council in the past, we have stood with Israel when that horrific day of October 7th happened. Last year was the first anniversary of October 7th, the devastation of the horrific acts of terrorism that they encountered. And council approved for the Israeli flag to fly right underneath the American flag as a demonstration that we still stand with Israel. I'd like to bring that back for this year. for us to show our solidarity with Israel and fly the flag again on October 7th. I still have an Israeli flag in my office, and I'd like to get council's consensus to see if we could make that happen again this year as solidarity that we do stand with Israel. So I'll start with Councilman Langevin.
Mayor, it was, when we were discussing the renaming Fred Poppy Park, some residents wanted to name it Heritage Park and fly flags down the street of every other country. And I said on that night in the council that I would never support flying a foreign country's flag on behalf of an American government. I support Israel. What happened that day was atrocious and terrible, but we're a United States government facility. At the end of the day, I don't hold any difference flying a foreign flag, whether it's an ally or not an ally. I think only American flags should be flown on American government buildings.
Thank you. Councilman Hammer?
I've always shown my support for Israel, and I am going to be in support of only flying an American flag on ours. on
I'm
our
not
pole.
saying we're not flying our flag.
But only ours.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, I was the only one who was a nay last time, but I'm still a nay, Mayor, so thank you.
So I don't have consensus. Deputy Mayor?
I'm not a swing vote, Mayor. How do I want to put this? I don't think city politics should be getting involved in world discussions.
Well,
We have 145,000 residents. I think if you asked every one of them, it would be a 50-50 draw. And with that, I serve the community. And I just don't feel like the city of Palm Bay should be getting involved in worldly events. So with that, I'll be against it.
Understood. Well, at least I got 1 year out of it, where we stand in solidarity with Israel, and I'm proud of that. So thank you. That concludes my reports. Mr. Morton.
I've got just 4 brief items, should be done by 9 o'clock. For transparency's sake, for the public, just to make it easier, I know we've got a lot of questions revolving around the Eden project at Bayside Lakes. I did ask staff to put up a website, which is now live. It's just a sub-page, but it just makes it easier to get to, so you don't have to dig through, pages of city websites. And you can find it at palmbayflorida.gov/Eden, and that's going to be updated weekly with the most current information that we have on the project, including future meeting dates, project schedules, and all those things. Again, just trying to be more accessible, since we know we have a lot of questions from our community in regards to that development. We did meet again today with 65 North, who is a consultant of ours for internal fraud, waste, and abuse. We continue to work on that program to implement measures to continue to monitor and fix issues within the city that we know exist, and press our finger on the button of monitoring and making sure we don't have fraud, waste, and abuse in the city. On another note, I did put into effective a few days ago, a soft hiring freeze and a soft salary increase freeze. The hiring freeze is just so we can evaluate every position before it gets rehired. I know it's part of the mandate we have in looking into our city and how our money's being spent, and to make sure we're right-sized and that the positions serve the needs of the organization. And then additionally, on the salary freeze, what that really entails is, outside of the budget season, we'll consider merit raises annually instead of the current practice of sort of budgeting or not budgeting year-round. Again, just more of a budgetary measure and a accountability measure to make sure we are being very transparent and also approaching that appropriately. And then lastly, we're having some significant challenges. I know the community is probably experiencing it now with our broadcasts of the council meeting. They are recording and are posted after the fact. There should be clarity, but there is issues with the live stream recording audio. And so we did authorize today an emergency purchase to get the updated equipment. It was a priority request from IT in this year's budget. I did waive it off. I was trying to put $100,000 other places that we desperately need it, but apparently we can't wait another year. So as soon as possible, we will have that new system in and hopefully resolve the closed captioning and the audio streaming issues. But in the meantime, the meetings are still going to be posted, on our webpage. It'll just probably, for great clarity, it might just be after the fact, unfortunately. And again, we'll get that in and installed as soon as possible. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I go to Madam Smith, Terry, since council's vote, will the public comment aspect be streamed next meeting?
Yes, it will.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So it'll be on full,
We will have the audio back to Swagat, so even if we're having trouble with the live stream, it will be out there recorded and live streamed. But even if we're having trouble with the live stream, it will be on the recording after the fact as well.
okay. And Mr. Morton, will these mics be remote mics or will they be wired?
Sean Harris, do you know that on the specs on the pickup? Is it going to be remote or wired? Are they existing mics? Do we know yet? Right, we're just going to order the soundboard and broadcasting equipment. There was no mic replacement. Okay.
Okay, no mic replacement for that either?
So I signed on my authority to expedite this because it needed to get done, and we got to get this in place because, again, we're having trouble and it's not great. And I apologize to the community for that. And I signed at the level, it just was at the level of my authority to sign. If we have a consensus or a request from council, we can make sure if there are wireless mics or not in that mic, and they would have to come back, no problem bringing it back, but at least we got the main system moving and getting installed. So if council would like us to bring back a quick examination of wireless mics and a replacement there, be happy to do that. Just give me some direction for that tonight.
Well, I don't know. I think if we're investing in audio and video, we should do it wisely. I'm not sure, yes, sir.
If I could just, if you may, Mayor, so the microphone system and speakers were just recently replaced. So the main core of the system, which goes into the feed, which is the camera system here, as well as the rack that's actually behind the scenes here, doing all of the recording, that is the system that needs to be replaced, including all the cameras in the council chambers. The speakers and all the microphones that you see today, including the one on the podium here, were all just recently replaced. So we're talking about two separate things.
Okay.
Even though it ties in together, they're two separate type upgrades.
So it'll just enhance these microphones.
Correct. So where all these mics gather the information and goes in, that system is good. It's just when the handoff happens for the live stream, that entire system needs to be replaced, which has been part of the request for several years.
Copy that.
Yes, sir.
Does that also include the video?
That's correct. So all of the cameras will be replaced in that setup, as well as the equipment that runs all of the video recording in the behind the scenes.
Thank you. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate it. Madam Smith, your reports. Oh, as you were. Councilman Ham.
So when I did my meeting last or 2 Thursdays ago, is there any kind of option to where we can do that via Zoom? Or while we're updating this? Because I was basically on the phone and I could hear everything going on in the background. I could barely hear what was going on. And when I'm watching the council meeting, it's like literally a minute and a half behind. So is there something we can do? I'm not encouraging doing it remotely because, it's not something that I liked to do, but it was extremely hard.
That would require quite a bit of manpower to make that happen, is what we're saying in terms of how do you navigate and monitor that. There's always going to be a delay, a slight delay, because it has to go through the system here and then gets closed caption attached to it and then goes to the web. So there's always going to be some type of compression that actually happens with that before it gets out. So there's always going to be a slight delay. It won't be 5 minutes or anything, but there's at least a minute or 2 minutes delay, yes.
I understand that. Is there a way to even just get audio at a better rate other than, turning on the telephone and listening to the
So
phone?
that would be part of the evaluation of the new system. Remember, the system that we currently have is a much older technology. So with a newer system, you always have a little bit more compression in terms of the data that's going through. Packages are smaller and those type of things. So, there's a lot more that can get as a part of a new technology process, which we would evaluate as we go forward. And whatever tweaks that's necessary to make it even faster, more seamless, more live.
It would be amazing if there was some kind of, some kind of link I can log in to hear the audio that's coming through as of right now. Just some kind of channel to log into.
We're hoping that the new system will accommodate that.
Thank you.
So
Is it
we'll take a
4K?
look at it. The cameras will be 4K, sure, yes.
Okay. Does that conclude your questions? Madam Smith, your reports.
No report, sir.
This meeting's adjourned.